Much of Hollywood can't stand Tom Cruise. Over the years, the actor has amassed numerous skeletons in his closet, and much of the controversy can be linked back to his ties with the Church of Scientology. I'm just going to call it the church throughout this video because we're not supposed to use the S word on YouTube. So we're going to just call it the church, but we're talking about the Church of Science. So, a founding member of the church said that Tom Cruise is very similar to the leader of the church because they both are rather absorbed by themselves, and intensely so. You don't want to look at them the wrong way or say anything wrong. You definitely don't want to seem better than them in any way. You have to be very careful around them. Which sounds like, is that narcissism? Is that egotistical? I mean, it sounds like a little bit of both.
This A-list comedy director hosted an event and joked about the permanent A-listers' stunts like ads for the controversial organization. He's right. The permanent A-lister thinks he has immortality and can avoid injury and death because of his level. She's so weird. One day, though, things can go horribly wrong and painkillers are not an option. That is Judd Apatow and Tom Cruise. The related headline is my favorite. After mocking him for his height, Judd Apatow's advice for Tom Cruise: you're 60. Calm down.
Now, we'll get into the church and a little bit more on how that has dictated his life, but I want to go into his early acting career. Like when Thandiwe Newton said that it was a nightmare working with Tom Cruise on Mission Impossible 2. Thandiwe holds nothing back in an interview covering her nearly 3 decades of working as an actress, and she gets brutally honest. She said, "I was so scared of Tom. He was a very dominant individual. He tries super hard to be a nice person, but the pressure, he takes on a lot. And I think he has this sense that only he can do everything as best as it can be done." So that kind of feeds into the, he's better than everyone else. That sick mentality. She remembers a time she got angry with Tom during a filming of a night scene in which their characters were to have an intense confrontational moment together. Tom was not happy with her performance during the scene in question and got so frustrated that he made them switch roles so he could act out what he wanted from her performance in front of her. Ooh, interesting. So that's like kind of, he's telling her that he's a better actor and played her role. Remembered her lines. We filmed the entire scene with me being him because, believe me, I knew the lines by then, and him playing me. And it was the most unhelpful. I can't think of anything less revealing. It just pushed me further into a place of terror and insecurity. It was a real shame, and bless him, and I really do mean bless him, because he was trying his damnedest. Damn, she was not appreciative. She said he wasn't horrible, it was just he was really stressed, which I wonder why he is so stressed. Like maybe it's part of the church relationship. This isn't the first time we've heard that Tom Cruise has been difficult to work with on set, and he's been known to have his meltdowns.
It's funny hearing him speak so impassionedly about saving an entire industry. On the set of Mission Impossible 7.
I'm on the phone with every studio at night. Insurance companies. Producers. And they're looking at us and using us to make their movies.
What I love is the idea that somebody recorded that on one day, but I think he probably has a rant like that every single day.
Yeah.
And the crew are just going like, oh, Tom's doing his shouting match.
Just
let him go.
Single night.
Okay, so I don't want to jump into the church. We're going to jump into the church, but I want to recognize that the church bases itself on the prophecy that it will make you a better person. It will help your emotions and you handle your lifestyle. This man having these blowouts and this anxiety and taking fish and why isn't the church helping him if they help people so much? It just sounds like an intense therapy to be a part of that church. So why is he so bonkers? Tom Cruise has been accused of using slave labor in the past. Over the past decade, numerous ex-members of the church have accused the church of gross misconduct. Tom Cruise is not free of blame. In fact, the former inspector general said in 2011 that he has secret emails that prove that there is a slave labor force. And actually, these employees, who really aren't employees because they're not getting paid, were forced to build a luxury bus as a gift for Tom Cruise. Then in 2013, 15 ex-church members signed affidavits in which they claimed that Tom Cruise repeatedly took advantage of members of the church and paid them $1 an hour to carry out a whole slew of jobs for him. So of course he's part of this church because he can act like a king being part of it, and he's at like the high level. A former member claimed that the leader told him to do specific projects relating to Tom Cruise back in 2004, like complete a renovation of his home in Beverly Hills. He was also reportedly ordered to oversee the construction of a large custom motorhome for Tom Cruise over a 5-month period, and to assist in the customization and construction of a special limousine. So they really like to treat him probably like royalty to keep him around because he's like super important in Hollywood, and to have them, have this man on their side only makes them more legitimate. It also seems like there was another member who had to locate other church members for Tom Cruise's household staff to cover positions of nanny, cook, and maid. The documents also allege that anyone who did not follow orders was met with inhumane punishments, such as being locked in a bamboo cage. Bamboo cage, people. How is this real? You guys have probably heard of Leah Remini if you've heard of the church before, because she did a big special exposing them. And, kudos to her because she really started a lot of this church's exposés. Leah went from a proud member to a whistleblower when she left the church in 2013. In 2018, she told the Daily Beast that the church members are told that Tom Cruise is saving the world single-handedly, so he is considered a deity within the church. The actress went on to claim that Tom is very aware of the abuses that go on in the church, and he's been a part of it, adding that she's been told by senior executive members who were there that the leader and Tom constantly threatened the staff. The leader would tell them that they would bring Tom Cruise to Gold Base to kick their families' behinds. Leah also told the outlet that there was an instance where the actor personally punished a high-ranking member of the church on some orders. Now, I don't know what that means, that he was like personally taking it into his own hands, but I'm assuming that it caused like physical harm, like he wanted to do the torturing, and it makes sense because remember, nobody can do it like Tom Cruise can. So if he wants it done the right way, the Tom way, then he's going to go and do it himself, which I can't imagine being like tortured by him because of some weird like disagreement within this like cult. And actually this cult, this church, I mean, it's really a cult, has been known to be to blame for his divorces. Once upon a time, Tom was married to Nicole Kidman and Katie Holmes. One high-ranking church member who has left the church actually alleged that there was someone employed at the church who was there to facilitate the breakup between Nicole and Tom. And that was because Nicole Kidman wasn't a believer in the church, so they had someone at the church assigned to causing them to split up. Now, maybe Nicole was able to avoid the church, but Katie Holmes seemed to get sucked up because she did an interview with W Magazine, and during the interview she had a church chaperone with her who prompted Katie with phrases about how much she adored Tom Cruise when she seemed to fumble for words. So literally these people, these chaperones, are there to make sure she says the right thing because they want absolute control.
One of the most bizarre and awkward celebrity interviews I've ever read is Katie Holmes' 2005 interview with W Magazine, where she somehow avoids answering every question about her relationship with Tom Cruise by blindly complimenting her relationship with Tom Cruise. Let's dive into it. She's first asked, do you worry that this might be a rebound romance for either of you? She responds by saying, I've never met anyone like Tom. That's it. There's no elaboration there. That is her answer. Then she's asked, did you learn anything in your previous relationship that has been a benefit to this one? She says, Tom is the most incredible man in the world. Once again, one sentence. I don't see how that answers the question.
It doesn't answer the question because they don't want any questions answered, because they, as a church, believe that they are at a higher power. They've got some knowledge that we just can't even access. We can never even understand because they're above us. So, the church is actually really close to where I mean, it's on the Walk of Fame. And I've thought before, like, what if I walked, I would not do this, so don't worry, guys, I'm not going to. But I thought, what if I walked in? Because, I've got influence and things. So, if they had me, would they eat me up? Would they be, all about it and, kiss my ass? Or, would they, because of what I do, would they think, I would be there to expose them? I don't know. But it's interesting, like how they value certain people, and they like will value them until they decide whether you're a believer or not a believer, which I guess is like, are you vulnerable enough to, their manipulation will work, or are you not? And then they will dismiss you or not. And, Nicole Kidman, they could tell that she was not going to listen to them. Leah Remini actually said that the church used confidential counseling sessions to bring a wedge between Tom and his wife Nicole because Nicole did not want to be part of the church anymore. Eventually, the couple split in 2001, and when their divorce was finalized, Nicole Kidman went viral for leaving her lawyer's office in utter bliss. Probably so happy to be out of that. Jump to 2006, Tom Cruise marries Katie Holmes, and actually the leader of the church is his best man. But come 2012, the actress is blindsided by Tom filing for divorce and seeking sole custody of their daughter, Suri. While their split may not have been a direct outcome of the church, like the fallout between him and Nicole Kidman, it appears that it was that pushed Katie away. When Tom was asked during a deposition if Katie had filed for divorce to protect Suri from the cult, he conceded that was one of the assertions. Yes. So Katie was, aware of how toxic the church was, and she actually wanted to leave the marriage as well. Katie Holmes had planned the divorce for 2 years in order to make sure she would retain custody of the couple's daughter, Suri. She had to orchestrate a whole thing with like burner phones and secret laptops and lawyers and multiple stays. She had that all done. So she had a master plan of making sure that this cult would not take her daughter away from her, and that Tom could not win at the end of the day because he is very powerful. So she went on for 2 years and planned all of this. That's probably why he filed for divorce very quickly when he just found out her plan. Katie wanted to save her daughter from this church.
At the wedding reception, Leah Remini says the plaintive cries of a child could be heard by everyone. It was 7-month-old Suri Cruz, who Remini says was left crying on the floor of a bathroom with neither her parents nor the other guests showing any concern. Baby Suri only stopped crying after Remini says she convinced somebody to pick up the baby and give her a bottle of warm milk. I spoke with former psychologist Lori Hodson.
They believe that children are spiritual beings and that they can handle a lot of responsibility, but I've never heard of that at such a young age as an infant.
Thank you for watching this clip from the Let's Get Into It podcast. To view the full episode, visit the link listed below.